Hey everybody, we've got this 94 Nissan Pathfinder that I have built an air ride frame. It is bagged and bodied, and it had some rust in the rockers. And before I put this cab back on the frame, I wanted to go ahead and patch all of the rust in the rockers and everything up. I've got the underside done, and on this video I show you what I'm going to do about the rockers. The rockers had some rust holes all up in here, and this was a gaping hole. I'll show you how I fixed all of that. I do have a couple of runs. I'm just going to have to try to get that out. It's a little bitty run, but I am definitely not going to leave that. You might not even be able to see it in the video. But this other side also had some holes in the rocker, and it had a big dent up here in the front, and it is smooth now. I'm going to go ahead and get started showing you what I did to fix this. Probably 18 gauge steel. It's either 16 or 18. Anyway, it is way thicker than the factory, and I'm trying to get rid of these holes right here. And I just used some common tools, vice grips, body hammers, used some metal shears, and I got that. I just beat on this 4x4, and I got it to fit pretty good. I just hammered it around, and then what I did is I hammered this down. I'm not going to remove that. I've cut all of the live rust out of that, and I'm going to weld these panels in. I've got that one built for here. I built this one and shaped it to where it will cover that one, and I marked where the edge of that is, and I beat that in with a hammer, so it should fit fairly flush. After I weld this, I will grind the welds down smooth, and it should not require a whole lot of body filler. And on this one I shaped one like this, and it will cover that one up. And what rust is left on this, I will sand out. That is burned paint from welding all of this. That has been a nightmare. Should have just bought wheels that tuck instead of pushing these bed sides out, but whatever. That's not real bad. That will sand and be perfectly fine. So what I'm gonna do is spray in some of this KBS Rust Blast. I will coat the rust with this. That turns it to phosphorus something. Anyway, kills it and converts it so it's not live rust any longer. This is a wax coating that is also from KBS, and this will spray in, and I can go in here and spray, and I can spray through these holes and those holes and really coat that inside real well. And I've got 2 cans of that, so I've got way more than I'll need for this project, and hopefully long term that will be gone. Long term gone. And hopefully I don't have to put a whole lot of body filler in this. I do not have the other side started yet, but it only took me 30 minutes or so, and I only have this hole, which I still got to clean up, and that hole I still got to clean up. That is massive, and it's going to be a lot of fun fixing this side. I still got to weld that back in all the way down, and I also have a hole here. I've already cured some of this with that, but I'm going to give it another coat. And I also have this. I'm going to check this out. I'm really hoping that that is not through. I'm hoping that I can save this panel without having to weld on that, because that is going to really suck. We'll figure it out here in, well, might be tomorrow at this point, but It'd be a blink of an eye for you. Right here I had a dent, and I just put a metal bar in there, like a pry bar, and I beat most of that dent out. This is air ride, it is body dropped. It will get probably laid on something again. I don't want to, but it's basically gonna happen at some point. Anyway, I'm gonna weld this side in, and I will cut you back on later. I have welded that up, and I welded all the patch panels in, and there's the other one. I didn't even know where it was at. I just got done welding that in. I guess it's pretty smooth if I lost where it was at. And then there was a dent right there, so I went ahead and knocked that down to bare metal. I'm going to take a DA with 80 grit, and I'm going to go over the rocker, and then I'm going to smooth in some body filler, and then I will come to the other side while that body filler is getting set. I will come to this side. I'll finish welding in here, and I'll try to restructure all of this and weld up that hole. And looks like there's some pitting going on here. I will check that out, and also right here I'll knock that out and look at it. I went ahead and started body filler. This is just the rocker. It does not have to be perfect, but I do want it to be fairly close. I went ahead and used some body filler up in here. I'm going to have to hand sand that with 80 grit with my finger, I guess. I can try to get this flat, and I can use a block on that. I'll have to hand sand that with my finger inside all of these crevices here to get that a little closer. On this side, I have started with a plate, and I should not have cut this notch here out, but it is what it is at this point. I'm not going to make another one of these because I've got quite a bit of time in this little piece to get it to fit that good. That's going to cover up some of this. I've already sealed this with the rust killer, so all this rust has been killed already. And I tapped right here and trying to get it flush, and back here it can hang off a little bit. That's fine. This has all been widened back here anyway, so the thickness of that is not really a big deal. But that does need to be close, so I hammered that down a little bit. Just kind of beat it down. So I'm going to weld this in here, and then along this, and then try to push the bottom side in as I weld that into place. And then I will start my new panel to go in here. Where it starts to bend, I may end up stopping and then forming a new piece the rest of the way. And then right here will be another piece to go around the back. Then I'll fix this and this with another piece. I went ahead and ground down some of this, and it does need a lot of work. So I'm tempted to make one piece, if I can, to go in front of that hole all the way to behind that hole, and just cover all of that up in one lump sum right there. And then I still need to look at that right there, and it's gonna be a lot of work, but hopefully I can get all of this knocked out today, and then tomorrow get some primer put on this. We'll see what we can do. Alright, I'll cut you back on. Alright, here is the piece that I made, and it fits in pretty decent. And I went ahead and came all the way out here. It wasn't too terrible to make, but I don't know how it needs to line up back here where this comes down. I know that needs to be flat right there, so I ended up making this piece, and what I'm going to do is weld this one in like the other side is, and I drew a line right here and I tapped that in with a hammer so that it will sit as flush as I can get it. It's going to be a little bit jagged right here, so I'm going to weld across the top here and then across the bottom, and then I will tap this in and then weld it so that I know everything is going to line up. The door will shut right, everything should be good. Once that piece is in, then I will continue to fit this piece and get it to fit to the other piece, and then hopefully that'll be sealed up at that point and I can start sealing up this back part. I got that one put in. Now I'm trying to fit this one to it. So my plan is, it needs to line up really good right here where the door shuts. So I'm going to weld down this, and then I will start tapping it around. It'll be warm, so it should be pretty easy, and I can start tapping around the bottom as well and welding it in as I go, and just continue to work. And it is poking out a little bit down here, so I will have to push that in. I think it'll line up. I think it'll do fine. It's working out real good. I'm just tapping it around, welding it as I go. It's very hot. It moves pretty easy. Hopefully this door will shut and line up great. There is a rubber stop that hits right here, so hopefully that's not going to be a problem. Other than that, I think it should be good. I've still got to do all this. I'll figure out what to do here in a minute. I'm fixing to go grab some lunch, but this morning I have got all of this fixed. And that one is not pretty. There's a bunch of jagged welds on there. Did what I could with it, and a grinder will fix all of that. Grinder will fix all of this, get that down kind of flush, and see if I can start in some body filler after lunch on this side. This other side, I haven't done anything else to it, but it should be ready to sand, and there is a dent right here that I'm not going to be able to get 100% out, but it is a bagged and body dropped truck, and the rockers are not going to be really seen, and on top of that they are possibly going to get beat up really bad. So I'm not going to spend not even 10 hours on body work on these rockers. That's about what it would probably take to get them perfect. I am not going to do that, so I'm just going to try to clean this up. This needs to be really good, and I'll get the rockers kind of smoothed in and on both sides, and we'll see what we can do after lunch. And I would love to shave these today. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll see what we can get done. That can be done with the body on, but kind of want to paint all of these jambs blue and get all of that done, but I don't know. We'll see what we got time for. There's a car show this Saturday. Today is Monday. After work Wednesday and Thursday. The car show Saturday is local. I would like to have this running and driving. The wiring harness will start the engine. The fuel pump should be working. This should work as well. Everything should be good on that. The wiring harness still needs to be gone through, but it will start and run. So the only thing I would really need is a clutch master cylinder. But I have shaved the firewall where the master cylinder fits, so it will all have to go under the dash. This may not make it to the car show now, which is okay because we still have the Trans Am we can take. A customer of mine that he needs to go top of the list here. He brought me a train horn. He wants this put on his brand new F-250. He has got a 6-inch lift, 37-inch tires, and I got to keep him happy. So we'll see if we can get this knocked out this week, and we will get back on the Pathfinder. I did get in the mail today some of this sound deadener, and this is going to go up into the roof and hopefully quieten things down in here. I won't know if it helps because it's a brand new build and obviously I've never driven it. So this is kind of the cheaper stuff. It's 80 mil, and I'll put it also on here. Golly, it won't need it on the top, will it? Just on the side right there. I'll just stick it on there and around in here, and maybe on that, and then all of the roof. I'll make a video on that probably. Alright, I'll cut you back on. Alright, I've tried to keep a brand new flap disc on my grinder and clean this up really good. So that is the big patch. It's going to require a little bit of filler here and here to blend, and then I will put some filler here and clean some of this. There's a low spot there, and just clean some of this here up. Anyway, that's what we've got after it has been ground down. It's pretty smooth. It's not too bad really. Anyway, I guess I'm going to scuff this with 80 grit on the DA right there, and then I will be applying body filler on this rocker, and I will apply it with my finger around the door here in the jam area. That will have to be blown off with air. I don't want any of that contaminants in my body filler. I may wipe it with some wax and grease remover, but anyway, we are getting there. Okay, I failed. I put in 3 layers of body filler and filled in all of these little low spots, and I missed that. I'm going to go ahead and hit that up just a little bit and wipe in here a little bit so I can put some epoxy primer in there, and I'm going to spray epoxy all the way up to the blue, and I will get these rockers laid in with epoxy. That epoxy will finish all of this up. It will seal it. I'm gonna go ahead and put some epoxy up in here as well while I'm doing, and I went ahead and put in some sound deadener in the roof. It's not done yet, but we're getting there, just a little bit at a time. I thinned that out and I got runs in it, and I'm not real happy about it, but you can see the reflection and the shape that it's going to be in clear. It's going to be fine. Get those runs out of there. Everything will look smooth as silk. It's going to be real nice. And then the rocker, I've got some issue right here. I'm just gonna have to hit that with some high fill primer. That was where I ground that down. I thought there was rust right there, but it went away really quick. Rockers look pretty good, both sides. I went ahead and got some epoxy up here. I'm gonna hit that with some high fill primer and then blue base coat in clear. And then whenever I get ready to do the rest of the vehicle, I can just tape this area off and not have to redo that. And the rocker will be completely done. It'll be blue. The jams, if I feel like it, I'm gonna try to put a body line pinstripe in a pearl white, and I will have to put that in the jam area along here, and then along in here, and then along in here. But I can just throw a little bit of clear right back on that. I think it'll work out great. Maybe hit that with some slow solvent after I clear it and melt. I'm gonna try it. It's in the door jamb. It'll be fine, I think. Alright, tonight I am trying to sand down this epoxy. I've got this really soft pad here and 180, and I'm doing wet. I'm getting out all of those runs. They're coming right out. It's just real soft epoxy primer. The runs come right out. Any imperfections in this will come right out. It'll just smooth that real nice and flat. And then I'm going to come back with a white primer, a high fill primer, and I'm going to hit all of this with that white high fill. And then I will do this again, maybe with 220. We'll see. Just kind of winging it here, just making it up as I go. Pretty much do that with everything that I build. Just make it up as I go. Just stay fairly close to the rules, but doesn't have to be exact. Alright, I'll do this tonight and see if I can get some white on there. Maybe not, but maybe. We'll see. I've got it all scuffed up all the way around, basically just doing the jams. Mainly what I want to do is be able to tape off right in here and tape off basically most of this. I will not tape that off. I'll paint that with the body, and I want to make sure to get all of that stuff out. I wiped it down, but I'm going to double check everything, make sure that stuff is from wet sanding. I don't want any of that laying on there. I need to wipe it again. I've got it all over it. Anyway, so I'm going to wipe that again, and then I will paint the jams. Yeah, so mainly I was saying I just want to tape off the jam area and where the door shuts. I can paint this with the body and not have to worry about getting anything on the interior. And it would be good if I could maybe tape an edge here and then paint the outside body with this taped off. So if this was blue, that would be really good. All of the rocker and underneath, that all needs to be obviously wiped clean again, but this all needs to be blue so that I do not have to worry about that as I'm spraying. That could get on my frame and other things. So if that was already blue and all of this here, if it was all blue, then I would not have to worry about any of that. And I'm getting tired. So I may just wipe this and then spray white tomorrow. And we'll see what I can do. I'm working 12-hour shifts, so not getting much done on my days that I work. So I will cut you back on them in just a little bit. I went ahead and shot the white tonight. Yeah, there's some runs in here, but I have to sand all of this back out and apply body filler, hopefully without messing up the blue that I'm going to put right there. And around in here is all going to be blue, where I can put the doors back on and not have to worry about repainting that area. And the other side looks about the same. I'm going to scuff this and then start shooting blue if it looks okay. There are a few imperfections right there on the bottom of the rocker. We're going to be okay with that, I think. Some of that should smooth out. I just laid it on kind of thick, and we'll see what it looks like. Right there's some more. I'll sand that down a little bit. Alright, I'll cut you back on later. I went ahead and sanded the high fill primer that was on here with 320 wet, and I sprayed white, and now I see that I had it kind of thin, and I'm gonna have to scuff that out. I wasn't planning on that, but cannot have my pearl with a run in it, so I will get that off. I went ahead and sprayed the white base on both sides, and it is, thought it was ready. It's almost ready. And then I will put some blue down here in just a little bit. Alright, the first coat is not to cover, it is to start getting it to cover. I plan on 3 coats of this, and it is blotchy in some spots, but that will all go away. That is going to go away real nice and easy like. This is not a candy, so I'm not a professional, but I do know that this will look top quality once I get it all done. And what in the world? So I'm gonna wait some flash time here. I don't know, I may end up doing this another night, because that's not cool. I don't know, I guess maybe some white pocketed right there, and whenever I hit it with the blue it just ran out. So this is the kind of issues that you're going to get, and have to figure out how to overcome all of these issues as you go. This will get sanded back down. I'm not concerned at all about that. I am not even concerned that I'm taping it off or whatever. I just kind of winging this. I want to do the jambs so that I can do the doors on. So most of this will get scuffed. At least some of this may stop at a line, maybe inside there, some edge. I'll find an edge and I will stop. This drip right here will be my edge, and this will obviously be my edge for that. And then where the seal goes will be my edge. I will sand that and it will get redone. This has to be welded up, so you might think I'm wasting my time right here, but it's not a big deal. That area won't be messed up again, so it is going to be sprayed. Where the seal goes will be resprayed, so not a big deal. I'm just ready to get this back on the frame, get the body back on the frame, get these rockers done, and get the door jambs done where I can bolt these doors back on, get everything lined back up, and get all of my body work here. I do have a couple dents. Right there's one you can see. So I'm gonna work those out, and kind of need the doors on to make sure everything is lining up whenever I do the body work back here. So that's my main concern, but I don't want to pull the doors back off, so I'm going to go ahead and spray all of the jambs. When I bolt the doors back up, I don't have to worry about, is there going to be a different color showing if I have to reposition these doors after spraying it. It'll all be blue. So anyway, I'll cut you back on once I figure out what I'm going to do about this other side where it ran out. Okay, we got 3 coats of this blue base, and now I'm ready for some clear. I waited about 15 minutes after this last coat, and about 7 in between the 2 other coats. We are ready to go. I am going to just spray 2 coats on this, 2 full coats, and we'll call it good. And I will I'll show you what I got in the end, and I will clean my gun, and then I'll be good, I hope. This is the finished product. Now I just got done spraying this and cleaned the gun. As long as no bugs land in it, I think I'll be good. And you can see the rocker is not perfect. There is a small dent right there, you can see. But we are going to just call that good. I sprayed this with the Iwata Supernova with a 1.3 tip. And I am going to call this good. I'm going to wait a couple of days and then I will come back and you can see kind of the pearl. So after a couple of days of this sitting, I will come back and I will see if I can go ahead and pick this up and put the body back on the frame. This rocker came out looking pretty good. There's a dent right there, but I am not real concerned about it. It's just pretty straight. Alright, till next time. Y'all have a good day. Oh yeah, like and subscribe or whatever. Alright, bye-bye.